Reading the Istanbul through a map, the city of Minarets, through the eyes of Matthäus Merian. Some cities are visited, some cities are lived in, and then there are cities that are not simply seen, they are read. Istanbul is one of them. Once known as Constantinople, the eastern jewel of the Roman world, it was a city that drew the attention of emperors, merchants, sailors, and travelers for centuries. And then 1453 came. The city passed into new hands. The Turks arrived in Istanbul. But what is remarkable is this: they did not simply conquer a city, they reimagined it. Today, when we look at the Istanbul skyline, we are not merely looking at stone and brick. Within just 2 centuries, magnificent mosques, külliyes, fountains, inns, and palaces rose across the city, becoming an inseparable part of its identity. So much so that Istanbul was no longer only the city inherited from Rome, it became the city of minarets. And it was precisely this transformation that fascinated artists, travelers, and scholars across Europe. One of them was the German engraver and cartographer Matthäus Merian. Living in 17th century, Merian became known as one of Europe's most important creators of city views and maps. And when he depicted Istanbul, he was not merely recording streets and buildings, he was creating a character. At first glance, the map before us may appear complex: harbors, walls, hills, palaces, mosques, and dozens of carefully marked locations spread throughout the city. Yet, when we begin to look more closely, a story starts to emerge. Near the center, we find Topkapi Palace. Here, the administrative heart of an empire. Nearby stands Hagia Sophia. It's here. Let me erase a little bit. Hagia Sophia is here. A monument that connects Rome, Byzantium, and the Ottoman world in a single structure. Further on lies the district surrounding the Sultanahmet. It's here, where political and spiritual life converged. And then there's a golden horn, which is the all the way down in the middle of the two cities here. We call Golden Horn, a natural harbor that welcomed merchants and sailors and culture from across the world for centuries. The many location marks on this map ultimately tell us one thing: Istanbul is more than a city. It is a layer upon layer of civilization. But this raises an important question. Why should a map be considered of a work of art? Because a great map does much more than provide direction. It creates meaning, like this map. Just as a painter thinks with a color, a cartographer thinks with space. They decide what to reveal, what to emphasize, and how a city should be experienced by the viewer. For this reason, many historical maps are valued not only as scientific documents but also as artistic creations. That is why they are displayed today in some of the world's most prestigious museums and collections. They are visual stories of the past. Perhaps that is what makes maps so fascinating. From a distance, they seem crowded, overwhelming, but as we move closer, they begin to unfold. And with every detail, we discover the city slowly introduces itself. A street, a harbor, a tower, and a mosque. Little by little, the city stops being a geography and becomes a personality. Perhaps that is why people have been captivated by maps for centuries. For a student, they can be a gateway to learning. For a collector, a window into history. And for a business leader, a visual expression of strategy and connection. And for those whose hearts belong to Istanbul, they are a doorway into the memory of the city itself. Today, we live in a world surrounded by digital maps. Our phones can guide us anywhere within seconds, but historical maps offer something very different than today's map. They do not tell us where we are going, they remind us where we came from. And Merian's vision of Istanbul does exactly that. Even after for centuries, it still whispers the same message. Some cities are not merely lived in, they are read, and Istanbul may be the most beautiful of them all. Thank you very much.